straw that broke the camel's back that made you say, fuck it, let me get on the internet? Oh, that's a great question.
Let's break down the first part of his question first, though. What did he say, the first part?
I'm a firm believer that the coldest people at whatever their expertise is actually unknown. They're somewhere being great without recognition. What was the last straw that broke the camel's back that made you say, fuck it, let me get on the internet? I did not get it.
I mean, somewhat, yes and no. LeBron, Kobe, Michael Jordan, some of the greatest at their craft. We know who they are, right? You know, some of the greatest artists, Michelangelo, you know, Picasso, we know who they are, right? Even some of the greatest people in business. All right, we can say in business, yeah, it's probably some great guys out there, but look at Jeff Bezos, one of the most, the biggest company in the world. We know who he is. Mark Zuckerberg, one of the youngest billionaires. We know who he is. People like Hormozy, you know, $100 million companies. We know who he is. So I wouldn't say that the best people in the world that we don't know who they are. They're just somewhere too busy being great. But yeah, it's a lot of great people who we don't know, you know. But you're saying that to say what, though?
He asked, what was the last straw that broke the camel's back that made you say, fuck it, let me get on the internet? Like before you started.
Okay, so we got to back up a little bit. The real question would be, what was the straw that broke the camel's back to get me to transition from the lifestyle I was living out of that lifestyle? And I can't go into too much detail, but leading up to it, the more aware you become, the harder it is to do things that are beneath you. You know, the more I was reading, the more I was beginning to understand certain things about life and ideologies and the teachings that I was reading and the people that I was following and the seminars that I was going to. It was very hard for me to stay in this low vibrational field of plane when I started to know better. See, some people don't know better, but I knew better. And it was becoming very hard to, like, cognitive dissonance. I knew what I was doing was beneath me. I knew what was to come. But at the same time, I tried not to listen to that voice because I understood the more I think about that, it makes me hard to do what I do, man. It's hard to do wrong when you know better. When you don't know better, you can go hard at going wrong. But when you start to know better, it is very hard to be good at something that you know is not, that you know better to do. And then to have other people who are following you do the same thing. So it was a culmination of all of that. And then a certain situation transpired that broke the camel's back, which I ain't gonna speak on this on here. You know, I be seeing all these dudes on these fucking podcasts talking too much. I ain't doing that. But it was a situation that transpired that put me in a very precarious situation. And I told myself, I said, God, if you get me out of this, situation, I ain't playing with this shit no more. I'm no longer going to put myself in a position where my freedom is not in my hands, where my destiny is not in my hands. Long story short, by the grace of God, that situation passed.